brought in ogres from its homeworld of Draenor and conscripted the disenfranchised Amani forest trolls into its fold, setting out on a massive campaign to overrun the dwarf kingdom of Khazad-dûm and the southern reaches of Odoron. The horde effortlessly decimated all opposition. The epic battles of this second war ranged from large-scale naval skirmishes to massive aerial dogfights. Somehow the Horde had unearthed a powerful artifact known as the Demon Soul, used it to enslave the ancient dragon queen, Alexstrasza. Threatening to destroy her precious eggs, the Horde forced Alexstrasza to send her growing children to war. The noble red dragons were forced to fight for the Horde, and fight they did. They also went further than that and had Alexstrasza repeatedly. I'm actually. No. The word is right. I had to think it through because I feel like, was I being too dramatic? Because I know some people are too dramatic when it comes to this thing. Like when it comes to fiction and whatnot, some people are weird about it. My mind is blanking on the right examples, but take my word for it. It looks like the room there is melting. Like it's just like there's a weird crease on it, and so it just looks weird. Um, like it's not focused and detailed. It's like there's detail to it, but it's just with that effect going on there. It's like it's sinking or like melting. But anyway, yeah, she was a forcible brood mother for the duration of her captivity. She had to keep churning out new young for the war effort. And I think they were rapidly aged, too. So they could actually get to the fields, and not have to wait a few hundred years. But memory's vague. But yeah, basically, forcible brood mother. Well, I was going to say raped earlier, but yeah, that word is accurate. I can't remember how consenting the mate in this relationship was. I can't remember, were they also held prisoner, or were they a more eager participant? Can't remember slightly. I remember reading the book of her being rescued. The former lead, at the time he wasn't the leader of Kirin Tor. He actually wasn't very well liked within it. Ronan of the Kirin Tor. He became the leader later on in the series, before Jaina became leader. He was the leader like in Wrath of the Lich King and whatnot. But he on a mission with an airy peak dwarf and one of the elves, one of the high elves, managed to they're sent on a mission to investigate something, and he ends up separated and used as a pawn by Deathwing to free Alexstrasza. He wanted to kill her himself, and she was currently trapped within a mountain cavern system, so he wanted her out. I think there might have been more to it than that, but that's what I remember. I just remember vague little details like the battle outside and how Deathwing was able to take on like all the dragon aspects by himself, or something. Like he was just really powerful, and he had the demon soul. It was called the Dragon Soul for a time because all of the dragons, bar him, I think, empowered it, but it was like demon corrupted or something. The old gods were also involved in its creation, so fun times. But anyway, that's a war novel for another time. The war raged across the continents. Yeah, this is again a sign of how the old war here. The continents of Khazad-dûm, Lordaeron, and Azeroth itself. Continent. Could that be called a continent? Well, like this is the Eastern Kingdom, and that's Kalimdor. I figured this is the Eastern Kingdom continent. That's Kalimdor continent. And that's Northrend, that's Pandaria. And those are more of an island chain than anything else. I didn't think Casmodan here. Oh, this is Dun Moreau, but like let's say these. Wait. Let's just say it's these 4 areas here. It's Casmodan. I didn't think that would be, you know, continent worthy. What? I remember there is something in geography. I can't remember if it's continents, but there was like a weird, like, dude. There was some like definitional issue with it. Like there was people saying. Yeah, I think it is continent. It's not an issue, but it's. I remember there was some discussion. I vaguely remember reading about it, and it's just saying like if you define it this way, it brings up this issue. If you define it another way, it brings up another issue, and it's just like it's just an annoying distinction. But yeah, I figured the Eastern Kingdoms was a continent, and this was just areas within it. But maybe originally, in the original war, it was done out differently. It's just all I'm getting at. And Azeroth, across the continents of Casmodan, Warron, and Azeroth itself. Azeroth was the original name for Stormwind. Or that kingdom. That was then broadened out to be the entire world. As part of its northern campaign, the Horde successfully succeeded in burning down the borderlands of Kal'Thalas, thereby ensuring the Elves' final commitment to the Alliance's cause. The greater cities and townships of Warron were razed and devastated by the conflict. Despite the absence of reinforcements and overwhelming odds, Lothar and his allies succeeded in holding their enemies at bay. However, during the final days of the Second War, the Horde's victory over the Alliance seemed almost assured. A terrible feud erupted between the 2 most powerful orcs and Azeroth. Zoomhammer prepared his final assault against the capital city of Lordaeron. An assault that would have crushed the last remnants of the Alliance. Gul'dan and his followers abandoned their posts and set out to sea. The bewildered Doomhammer, having lost nearly half of his standing forces to Gul'dan's treachery, was forced to pull back and forsake his greatest chance at victory over the Alliance. The power-hungry Gul'dan, obsessed with obtaining godhood itself, set out on a desperate search for the undersea tomb of Sargeras that he believed held the secrets of ultimate power. Having already doomed his fellow orcs to become slaves at Burning Legion, Gul'dan thought of nothing of his supposed duty to Doomhammer. Backed by the Stormreaver and Twilight's Hammer clans, Gul'dan succeeded in raising the tomb of Sargeras from C4. However, when he opened the ancient and flooded vault, he found only crazed demons awaiting him. Oh, there was actually more. Seeking to punish the wayward orcs for costly betrayal, Doomhammer sent his forces to kill Gul'dan and bring the renegades back into the fold. For his recklessness, Gul'dan was torn apart by the maddened demons he'd set loose. With the leader dead, the renegade clans quickly fell before Doomhammer's enraged legions. Though the rebellion had been quelled, the Horde was unable to recoup the terrible losses it had suffered. Gul'dan's betrayal had afforded the Alliance not only hope, but also time to regroup and retaliate. Lord Lothar, seeing that the Horde was fractured from within, gathered the last of his forces and pushed Doomhammer south, back into the shattered heartland of Stormwind. There, the Alliance forces trapped the retreating Horde within the volcanic fortress of Blackrock Spire. Though Lothar fell in the battle at the spire's base, his lieutenant Turallion rallied the Alliance forces at the 11th hour and drove the Horde back into the abysmal Swamp of Sorrows. Turallion's forces succeeded in destroying the Dark Portal, the mystical gateway that connected the Orcs to their homeworld of Draenor. Cut off from its reinforcements and fractured by infighting, the Horde finally buckled upon itself and fell before the might of the Alliance. The scattered Orc clans were quickly rounded up and placed within guarded internment camps. Though it seemed that the Horde had been defeated for good, some remained highly skeptical that peace would last. Khadgar, now an archmage of some renown, convinced the Alliance High Command to build a fortress of Neverguard that would watch over the ruins of the Dark Portal and ensure that there would be no further invasions from Draenor. Okay, a lot of reading. A letter? What's this all about? Elo looks at the letter and immediately pales. You fool! You've doomed us all. You're not the first fool to be manipulated by Abercrombie. That doddering old man is known as the Embalmer to us. Um, He's a vile necromancer and a blight upon this town. Now sewn together and given life by the very materials who brought him, his terrible creation approaches. That hideous creature will be upon us in mere moments. The any heart Kulgoroth, who helped do night watch, drive off the abomination, and save our town. Stitches, gift of the embalmer. Yeah, Stitches in the original thing was done differently. Here, if memory serves, he'll be in the town already and the place will be on fire. But Stitches originally walked all the way from the graveyard up into town, taking that long road, I think. And I believe he dropped Stitch's femur. And remember the dead lady we found before? That's the embalmer's wife. The rare? Yeah.
Be careful.
I was worried this was going to be like already dead by the time I got to fight because of other players, but thankfully not. Burn! Burn, you wretches! Abercrombie's just hanging by the hook. And he's in full necromancer gear. The original Stitches was also level 30. Well, seems Abercrombie's actually dead now. Yeah, Abercrombie the Embalmer. Yeah. Dead under Stitches. You could, like I said before, you could, Stitches dropped a femur or something. And, doesn't seem to have this time. Again, changes because of Kata and all that. Sorry, so there's another book there or something. Oh, what fantastic drawing, I said, sarcastically. Also, the Draenei ain't here right now. Thank the light he's gone. I'll say you've made amends by helping save the lives of those here, Kulgoroth.
Go with honor, friend.
And he's back. And stitchings. Ooh, that is a nice cape. Very nice cape. Well, it's pretty nice. This is nicer. Very nice. What's that fountain there when we were fighting Stitches? I'm not sure. This place seems different, like more detailed for a moment now. It's weird. Anyway, let's find the Fight Master. I love the sound of rain in games. It never quite sounds as nice and heavy as it does. Like, it never sounds like... There's this certain sound in games of the rain and the way, you know, just the... Like, the weight of it and the... How it, you know, sounds hitting off the ground or whatever. Just there's a certain sound to the rain. Whatever it is, it just sounds lovely. And it's just never... I've never heard it really well replicated, you know, done in real life. You know, it's never the same, like, you know, it's never, like, heavy enough or whatever. It probably has been plenty, even where I live, but it's just, I haven't ended up hearing it or whatever. You know, I'll be unconscious at the time, but, yeah. Basically, love the sound of the rain here. I could go sleep listening to that. Then again, I could go sleep listening to nothing right now. I am quite tired. Okay, deeper stratagem. You can have up to 6 points, and your finishing moves consume up to 6, and your finishing moves do 5% increased damage. Anticipation. You may have up to 10 combo points, but the finishers only consume 5. Excuse me. And vigor. Increases your maximum energy by 50, and your maximum, and your energy regen by 10, which is tempting. Iron Stomach increases your your healing. Your feint also reduces damage you take from non-area attacks by 30% for 5 seconds. It's passive. Boosts thing. Cheat Death. Fatal attacks instead reduce you to 7% of your maximum health. For 3 seconds after, you take 85% reduced damage. Can trigger more than once every 6 minutes. Parlay is a CC. Prey on the weak. Enemies disabled by your sap, by your blind, gouge, cheap shot, or sap take 10% increased damage from all targets. Gouge, Bind, Cheap Shot, and Sap no longer cost energy. Cannonball Barrage. Command the ghost ship to barrage the target area with cannonballs, dealing 2,800 physical damage for 2 seconds and slowing enemies by 50% for 1.5 seconds. This gives you a 20% chance per combo point to grant 2% haste for 20 seconds, cycling up to 10 times. Or so your finishing moves have a 20% chance. Yeah. Killing Spree. Teleport behind an enemy within 10 yards, attacking 7 times over 3 seconds with both weapons for a total of 4,533 physical damage. When it's active, each killing spree while Blade Fury is active, each killing spree attack will teleport to and damage a different nearby enemy target. So it can become an AoE instead of just a single target thing. There's Slice and Dice, which replaces Roll the Bones. Here's Roll the Bones. It's rolls the dice of fate, providing random combat enhancement, and the amount of points you put in determines the worth. This critical strikes with between the eyes deal 4 times normal damage. Nice. I'm not sure why this has gone down. Like, you know, these have all moved down 1. Not sure why. Marked for death just gives you 5 combo points on the target. Before, combo points used to be on the target rather than you. So, if I remember correctly, that's a step from above, which is nice. And here's another pet trainer, Eric Davidson. I'm having difficulty fighting him. I didn't have the right pet type, which led to his minions having a quite the advantage over me. Like, certain types take bonus damage from other types. Similarly, other types take some types take more damage or less damage from other types. I think mechanical take less damage from critter attacks. I can't remember though. Can't remember in the slightest. It's been quite a while since I dealt with anything like that. You know, the pet battles. So I can't really comment.
I need closer.
I don't see Moral Adam. It claims he should be right here according to that, but I don't see him.
I'm out of range.
And he is up top. There is a catacomb system here, but he is up top.
I need to target something first.
Rotted ones. Fucking worms. Please, necromancers, get your zombies wormed.
I need to target something first.
Okay. Whoa. Don't see anyone here. Let's work our way up top. Inventory's also filling. There's a bone chewer. A blood-soaked hat. Stout. Ah, here he is.
It's too far away.
Also, I did kind of use the wrong abilities on him there. I should have set up an ambush. But, whatever. It got him down. Wait, oh, buddy wormed. Okay. We have to... Yeah, I'll just head back in and turn in the Morbid Fell one.